Thank you.
The next
Thank
case
you.
is Marie Boats and Pierre Sanat, case number CEFAW 2019-00082. Jose Perez is the officer.
Hello.
Work without a permit. Sir, please state your full name and address.
Jean Robert Etienne, 120 Northeast 121st Street.
Are you the property owner?
Nah,
Who are you?
the guy is my brother.
He's
The
your
own-
brother?
Yeah.
He asked you to come here and speak
Yeah, I
on his
was here
behalf?
before. Yes, yes.
Okay. Um, Mr. Perez, what's the city's position on this?
Let me locate the record.
Work without a
one sec.
permit, enclosing rear porch.
No, I don't believe this is
No,
for
it's
this.
not it,
This
no.
is that's
No?
the wrong case for that.
Okay, so which case are we on?
I'm trying to locate it. It would be CEFAW 2019-00082,
That's the follow, okay.
and there's another one, a CEOSV 2018-00088.
All right. So the one we're on is the gate.
Correct.
Okay.
City of North Miami Code Enforcement Officer Perez. Today we're hearing the case in reference to the property at 120 Northeast 121 Street. This is in reference to fences and walls, specifically repairing the gate on the fence on the west side of the property and repaint the discolored panels. The violation was opened up in April 4th, 2019. As of my final reinspection date, no compliance has been made. My reinspection was on July 10th, 2019 at 9:38 a.m. As you can see by the photographs, there are several discolored panels throughout the fence, and the fence at the center is tipping over towards the public right-of-way. So in light of a hurricane or any strong wind, that may blow over.
Sir, this doesn't look very good.
No, we don't know nothing about that. I'm not here for that. I'm here for the truck. Ah,
You're here on which?
He's here on behalf of his brother in reference to the truck, but he's also representing the property. So the violations with the property
Okay, so
Yeah.
he's here on the next case,
on the next case.
which involves the same
That I
property,
don't
the
know
same
nothing
Same
property
property,
owner.
yes.
No.
Okay, so you're not here to talk about.
no, I don't know nothing about that.
All right, so what is your recommendation? 30 days?
Let me see the permit action report. I think 30 days would be adequate.
Yeah, considering we're in hurricane season and that fence looks horrendous, I think it's got to be done within 30 days.
Okay, I'll let him know that. but-
You let him know because otherwise he's going to be fined.
Okay.
Based on the unrebutted testimony of the city's code compliance officer, the photograph and evidence presented depicting that the cited violation still exists, proper notice has been given. I find in favor of the city. As to case number 2019-00082, and that's the gate, correct?
Correct.
Enter an adjudication and set a compliance date of 30 days. In the event of non-compliance, there will be a daily fine of $350 until the violation is abated.
The next case is Marie Boats, CEOSV 2018-00088, the same property.
So in regards to this, this is at the same property. It is in regards to the oversized vehicle that's being stored in the rear of the property. This case was previously adjudicated. As of my final inspection on July 10th, 2019 at 9:38 a.m., the vehicle was still there.
Okay.
Can you put up a picture of the vehicle? No. Oh, that one, okay. Okay, I see it.
Yeah,
That vehicle needs to be moved.
it's not here no more. They already moved the car. I mean the truck.
When was it moved?
I paid them on the first. They come to pick it up. They have a problem with the towing. I think they pick it up. I think on the 12th.
Did you bring a picture showing that the
no,
truck
I
has
di-
been
I-
removed?
No, the truck been moved. Anybody can go there anytime. It been removed. I don't have the truck there.
All right, so what do you want me to do?
In reference to this,
Yeah.
I would have to inspect
Yeah.
the property. But since it already has been adjudicated, mhm,
All right, this is what I'm gonna do, because it was a long time
Yeah.
So we move.
there.
Yeah.
There was a finding of guilt, and I appreciate the fact that it's been moved, but I am going to fine you or the property owner, your relative, whoever it is, I'm going to fine them $500 for the violation.
All right.
okay, and then
Okay.
that'd be a one-time fee of the 500.
And I'm gonna assess fees in favor of the city.
It will be a one-time fee, right?
One-time fee, $500
Okay.
for the violation. If it happens again, it'll be a higher
No problem.
violation, a higher fine.
The next case is MacPad Enterprises, CEO DS 2019-00046. This is Ernst Baptiste case. Who's presenting the case for Ernst from MacPac Enterprises, 970 Northeast 133 Street?
00046.
Okay, we're gonna skip over this case, and we're gonna go to the next case. Natalie Mills, she has two cases. The first case is MHVIO 2019-00199. John Dorville is the officer.
No appearance on behalf of the property owner. Mr. Dorville, please present.
Yes, sir. The first case is MHVIO 2019-00199. This is in reference to basically, this is a condo, and the condo has a separate folio number with a piece of property, which is the owner is Natalie Mills, on that same property. It's a separate folio, and I cited her for having repair the glass in the window, and I'll show you a picture. Fairly evident, several windows in the, on the property that all represent some, obvious signs of decay and broken glass and things of that nature. They were cited, given proper notice, everything is on file, AOS is on file. Attempts of just, all this talk of hearsay, but just information from some of the from the individuals, other association members who own the associate property. They have told me that this individual does not live in the country and has not responded, and there's actually several violations pertaining to this property that are in fine lien status. So this particular property owner, I would define, if I can, as derelict. And I'll show you the picture once again, but basically broken glass throughout the property in the windows, in the windows.
This is a unit within a,
This is
Condo?
a separate structure, so the overalling, there's a property that has a condo unit on it with a associate building that has several units, I think 4 to 5 units in it. And this one is the associate buildings, and that's why it has a separate folio number
Okay.
and cited as such.
and we're citing the owner of that particular unit.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, anybody here from, representing the owner? This has not been previously adjudicated,
No,
correct?
sir. It's a new
All
case.
right. And there's nobody living there?
These, well, I mean, obviously, it's part of a larger property, so it is visible to the, so it's really hurting the property values aesthetically of the other property owners. They have the main building, right? So we're talking once again about 2 separate folio numbers. The main building is occupied with children, so if they, if they play in this building,
I
there's a
understand,
possibility
but
of
how do
getting hurt.
how do we get an absentee owner to fix the windows?
One, by assessing a fine, obviously, to apply some pressure, right? Some due pressure. And as well, my understanding is that the primary property is looking to take over that piece of property. So they're in some sort of legal action to either purchase or take over this particular property.
Okay. No, what I was suggesting is perhaps going one step beyond and letting the owner know about the fines. And if she's not living here, posting or mailing is not going to be helpful. But if we can get an address and let the property owner know what's happening, maybe there'll be quicker compliance. So I'm going to obviously adjudicate and set a high fine, but our preference is that they fix the windows. So, based on the unrebutted testimony of the city's code compliance officer, the photograph and evidence presented depicting that the cited violations still exist and that proper notice has been given, I find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication and set a compliance date of 30 days. In the event of non-compliance, there shall be a daily fine of $350 until the violation is abated.
Okay. Just for the record, I've been told by one of the building officials that there is actually going to be, so it's probably, ownership probably has been transferred, or is going to be transferred, because there seems to be a reoccupation in effect going to
Okay,
happen.
so then that new owner is gonna have to fix this pretty quickly.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
The next case for Natalie Mills is MHVIO 2019-00200. John Dorville is the officer.
Same property, secondary property on the, on the larger one. Obviously, the back of the property is overgrown with trash and debris. I have a third case that's actually not coming up, will come up next, which is associated to this property as well, but this is basically the condition of the rear of this property, obviously overgrown, seems several years. So hence the fine to whomever the owner is going to be and or is, to move as quickly as possible in rectifying the situation and leaving the city and the property in a better place.
Can you put up that picture again?
The broken glass or the?
No, the one that has all of the debris and garbage with the landscaping.
Is it there for you?
Yeah. Actually, my picture looks worse.
Okay.
But anyway, based on the undisputed testimony of the city's code compliance officer, the photograph and evidence presented depicting that the cited violations still exist, proper notice has been given, I find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication and set a compliance date of 30 days. In the event of non-compliance, there will be a daily fine of $350 until the violation is abated.
Thank you.
The next case is Nomi Condominium Association, case number MHVIO 2019-00240. John Dorville is the officer.
Anybody here from the association?
Yes, sir.
Need an interpreter?
Yes. Yes.
State your full name and address for the record.
Su nombre completo y dirección.
Pablo Rodriguez, 360 Northeast 125 Street.
What is your relationship to the property?
¿Qué relación tiene con la propiedad?
Soy miembro del board.
I am a board member.
Do you have authority on behalf of the association to speak here at this hearing?
¿Tiene autoridad representando al board para hablar hoy día?
No, pero se lo puedo, bueno, habría que bajarlo acá de la página que está en las compañías. Soy miembro del board.
No, I do not, but I can download it from the company webpage that shows that I am in the board.
You're on the board of directors, but you're not speaking on behalf of the board of directors. Is that correct?
Está en la mesa directiva, pero no está hablando, representando a la mesa directiva, ¿correcto?
La estoy representando.
I am representing the
Okay,
board
because
of
then
directors.
I didn't understand the first answer that he didn't have the authority from the board to speak.
Bueno, yo no entendí la primera parte. Dice que no tenía la autoridad para hablar, pero usted tiene la autoridad para hablar por ellos.
Bueno, soy miembro del board. No.
Yes, I'm a member of the board.
Okay, we're not going to run around in circles. Sir, city, tell us what this is about.
La ciudad va a presentar el caso.
Yes, sir. MHVIO 2019-00240. This is in reference, quite timely to the previously mentioned case.
Con algo
This is actually the main condo building on that that's associated with the other building.
que está asociado
I have been working with this gentleman before, and we've had conversations about issues on the building. However, this particular issue has not been rectified as of yet on my last inspection of the property, which is 7/10/2019. This is the repair of the metal door at the entrance of the property, which simply did not have a lock nor had handles on it. And I took the associated picture, which I will bring up right now.
The condition still remains?
As of my last reinspection, the final reinspection date 7/10/2019, at that date 10/52.
Okay, Mr. Rodriguez, how soon can we get this fixed?
¿En qué tiempo lo puede arreglar esto?
Le voy a pedir, estoy notificando, aquí tengo las 100 llaves que estoy entregando a todos los tenants y control remoto para el acceso de los autos. Le pido 15 días para que me permita avisarle a todos y entregar a todos las llaves.
I have here all 100 keys and remote controls for all the tenants. I need 15 days.
15 days to do what?
15 días para hacer qué?
Para lo que me pidió el inspector Dorville, poner la cerradura y entregar todas las llaves.
To comply with what the officers said, to install the locks and give them the keys.
Is that okay with the city?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Está de acuerdo.
I'm going to give you 30 days,
Puede darle 30
but
días.
Thank you, sir.
try to get it within 15 if you can.
Thank you, sir.
Si lo
Based on the unrebutted testimony of the city's code compliance officer, the photographs and evidence presented,
fotografías y evidencia
and noting that the property owner is in agreement,
que el dueño de la propiedad está de acuerdo.
I find that the violation still exists. Proper notice has been given. I find in favor of the city.
Notificación, entonces,
Enter an adjudication and set a compliance date of 30 days. In the event of non-compliance, there shall be a daily fine of $250 until the violation is abated.
250 por día.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
The next case is for Norman Washington, CEBCR 2019-00001. Karen Jean Lewis is the officer.
Norman Washington, anybody here on behalf of the owner? Seeing no one, the city will present.
Magistrate, this violation is for a boat. We were instructed by management to table all recreational vehicle and boat cases for 90 days. So,
All right. So ordered.
The next two cases are for Pet Dale. The first case is CEPFY 2019-00131 for Karen Jean Lewis.
good afternoon, Co-Compliance Officer Karen Jean Lewis. The property is 1082 Northeast 145 Street.
Okay. Nobody here on behalf of the owner? Proceed.
The first violation is for parking on the front lawn. I did make contact with the property manager, who advised that she wouldn't be able to make it today, and she needed an extension. Wait, I'm clicking on the wrong photo. Hold on one second.
What kind of property is it?
It's a house. If you look at the pictures, there's 3 vehicles parked on the front lawn. There's a red sedan, a beige Toyota, and this SUV.
Okay, I see them.
Okay.
One of them is actually on the sidewalk, right?
Yes. And the property was posted on June 27, 2019 at 10:43 a.m. And this is for the parking on the front lawn violation, and then the other violation is for where the grass died. They were supposed to resod the grass due to excessive parking.
All right, what's your recommendation?
So go ahead and give her an extension for 30 days.
Tabling it for 30 days or,
Yeah, we can table it for
adjudicate.
table it for 30 days.
All right, we'll table it for 30 days.
The next case for Pet Dale is CESDM 2019-00007. Karen Jean Lewis is the officer.
The same thing, magistrate. Table it for 30 days.
All right, so ordered.
The next case is for Rachel Millard, case number CESTA 2019-00018. Edme St. Louis is the officer.
Another short-term rental.
This is advertisement.
Yeah. Rachel Millard, property owner, 1145 Northeast 135th Street. Please state your appearances.
Yeah, this is my mother, and I'm her son, of course. And
What is your name?
I'm Emmanuel. Emmanuel
Manuel?
Million, yes.
Elian.
And
You own the property?
she owns it.
She owns it?
Yes.
Okay.
And she's a retired, and she's not doing anything. And I try to run the short-term rental for her to get some extra income, to pay her bills and stuff. But I found out about the city doesn't allow it, so I put the apartment on listing with the Virtue Rentals real estate, and I do have the contract with the Virtue and the renting already the place.
All right, so let me understand. You placed an ad, it came down.
No, I have a listing now. I stopped the.
That's what I mean. You tried to do a short-term rental.
I did.
You found out that that's not legal.
Yes.
You stopped the advertisement.
Yes.
And now you got a listing to sell the property or rent the property?
No, rent.
To rent the property.
To rent the property, long term.
Long term.
3 months.
More than 3 months.
More than 3 months.
Okay.
So I have 3 months.
Have you discussed this with the code officer?
Not yet,
Okay.
I
So I
didn't.
want to hear from the city.
because after her, she came and then that's when
All right. Let me hear from the
Sure.
city. See what the
City of North
city's
Mi-
position is.
City of North Miami Code Officer St. Louis. This violation came to me via management, and upon my investigation, I went ahead and opened the short-term advertisement for the property. But the only thing is, as of yesterday, the listing is still up as for renting on Airbnb.
With Airbnb?
Yes, I have the pictures on there, which I've. Hold on, give me 1 second. If you look at the final STA pic, it'll show you dated from 7/16/2019. Copies of the short-term advertisement from Airbnb.
I saw it.
So, as far as for the city, being that it is their first offense, we're asking for guilty adjudication. Instead of the maximum fine, we'll ask for $250 until until they give us proof that it's not being advertised anymore.
Well, there's some folks that say they stayed there.
They do, but it's on. I believe he's renting the side of the property, not the entire property.
And
Sir, the Airbnb ad is still online.
it is still online for 3 months minimum, but I do have a room, the guest room that I think it was okay to rent the inside the room. I'm gonna cancel everything. Now cancel everything, not to rent it at all.
Is that true? You can rent a room within your
Inside your
residence?
house. Yes.
No. Because that would be more like efficiencies, but it's just a room within.
So you can't have a roommate pay you to stay in your house? All right, we'll leave that for the city attorney to opine when it's comes back again. So you will take down the Airbnb ad.
Yes.
You know how to do that?
Yes, I can do it. I'll do it.
Okay,
But
Go
for
ahead.
the advertising, can I? Because if it's more than 3 months, I can still advertise it through Airbnb.
you can advertise all you want as long as it is longer than 3
longer than
months.
3 months. That's exactly.
Okay, it
I'm-
cannot be 2.5 months,
Absolutely.
it's gotta be at
90
least 3
days,
months.
90 days.
Right. And you can only do it 4 times a year.
3.
Right.
And yes,
Right.
absolutely.
But the only problem with that was when I went on Airbnb and tried to book it, I was trying to book it for 3 days. It gave me that option.
It gave you an option
Ish.
to book it for 3 days.
Like I put 3
Totally.
days booking, and it allowed me to.
Okay, is it
Sorry.
possible to let Airbnb know that they will not? that-
shouldn't. I let the Airbnb
Yeah,
I let them know to give me this because of I have that rental here that is placed, but it's only my room, the guest room that I was trying to. I didn't.
You
close
can't
it
do
down.
that,
I
you can't do that either,
Okay.
okay? You cannot rent your house for less than
Then
90 days.
then 90
And
days.
so you're gonna have to notify Airbnb not to forward any potential renters for less than 90 days.
Yes.
If they see another ad like this one and they're able to book something for a week, then you're gonna be in trouble again.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm gonna, because it's the first time, and you didn't understand exactly what the rules were, I'm gonna fine you $250 for placing the advertisement in violation of the code. I have no discretion, but to find you guilty, because the law doesn't give me the ability to say not guilty. You did violate the code, so I'm going to assess a fine of $250. With the understanding that you're gonna call Airbnb tomorrow and let them know that they need to remove any reference to short-term rentals. Only 3 months or longer,
Okay.
okay?
Magistrate,
Yes.
as I was informed, we don't allow advertisement at all. So it would need to be removed completely from the website.
That
Well, if it's advertising for 6 months or a year, it would be
3
okay.
months.
No?
If it's for 3 months.
You
and
can
more.
you can have a broker, advertise your property if it's more than 3
He
months.
has a for rent sign with the broker's information on his property. Now,
I'm sorry? I don't find that there's a violation if it's for if the rental is for more than 3 months, you can advertise, you
can
can do
advertise
anything,
it,
you can
yes.
advertise it any way you want.
Absolutely.
There's nothing wrong with putting something on Airbnb if it's for 3
For
months or
3
longer.
months.
Just like if he gave it to a real estate broker, it would be okay too, unless I'm missing something.
give me 1 second.
Is that okay?
I'm looking at section 5-30 of the city code, prohibited advertisements. Any advertisement that promotes the occupancy or use of the residential property for a purpose of holding commercial parties, events, assemblies, gatherings, or the rental of single-family residential properties for a period of less than 3
In
months
Okay.
is prohibited.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Am I correct?
Yes.
You're correct, Your Honor.
Okay.
So
Sir, so I'm
am I still-
I'm gonna find you.
You're gonna
for-
find my mother?
Yes,
That's pretty much,
$250.
$250.
Right.
Is anything you can give her a chance of me, and then everything gonna be clear?
I can't.
Please.
I can't
You know.
because I found that there was a violation. I could have gone higher, but I'm not. So, and it's still up. So
Yes,
this
that's
the ad is still on. So I need you to remove it also. Otherwise, they're gonna cite you again.
what I'm sorry, the ad is still on, but for longer term, not for
Well,
short
you
term.
have to clarify that.
Yes.
You're gonna have to somehow get Airbnb to say that it's not for less than 90 days.
So, how can I work with you on this for you to?
She will
to
give
have
you
the
her
proof?
card.
Yes, I'll call.
Yeah, and Airbnb happens to have an office in Miami,
No, they did.
so they do, and they have people working there. Some of them are called government relations people. You may wanna call them and say, hey, do me a favor and get this corrected.
And have a, okay,
Yeah, they have a Miami office.
thank you very much, Your
Mhm.
Honor. Thank you.
The next case is for Roderick Cinto. Case number MHVIO 2018-01086. Gary Beswick is the officer.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Rod Cinto, property owner, 1955 Northeast 118th Road.
Thank you. Let me just find the file. The address again?
1955 Northeast 118th Road.
Okay. Okay, and you're the owner?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Beswick?
Good afternoon, Gary Beswick for the City of North Miami Building Department. The violation was opened back June 20, 2018. Failure to obtain required permit for installation of rear deck in progress, which this complaint came from the building official, Stephen Pizzo. That's where the complaint came from. And they did not obtain a required permit.
What's the status of the work?
Well, at the time when he saw it, he said that there was in progress of doing the work, but when I checked the computer, they did not apply for the permit.
Do you have a picture?
No, I didn't have a
Okay.
He didn't provide me with a picture,
Okay.
but I can call him, see if he's still in office.
Okay, Mr. Cinto, what's your position?
Good afternoon. On June 25th last year, I received a notice about this. I immediately responded to Mr. Beswick. And I told him at that time in writing that we were strictly doing repairs to our deck. We had several pieces of pressure-treated lumber that was falling apart. And we did it over a period of 3 to 4 months, the biggest time being when they passed by. However, it was strictly maintenance on the deck. It was not replacing or building a whole deck. Back on April 15th, I sent several letters about this because I was first cited in June of last year, and then it didn't come up after I wrote a letter until March. I sent a letter at that time as I couldn't make it. I asked for more information. I still got no answer. I got a letter to come to a hearing in April. I again sent an answer because I was not in town either of those 2 months. This has been deferred 3 or 4 times. Anyhow, on April 15th, Mr. Beswick called, put Mr. Pizzillo on the phone, and he told me that he spoke to one of the people that was working on it out on the street, and they said that they were replacing it. It was purely hearsay, and that person on the street barely spoke any English, excuse me. I was in the house at the same time. They never knocked on the door or said anything. Anyhow, this is merely repairs. This is not building a whole new structure. I've been cited under Code 532. There's no electrical, plumbing, or structural work being done. This is repairs. Similar to like painting a house or plugging in something that broke down.
All right, here's what I'm gonna do. I am bound by the administrative decision of the building official. If the building official tells me that a permit is required because this is a replacement, and he convinces me that it's a replacement as opposed to repairs, then I have to defer to the building official. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to table this and hear testimony from someone in the building department to explain to me the difference and why a permit is required. The building official was here earlier. I wish he would have stayed a little longer. I know it's late, and he starts his job very early in the morning. So I cannot make a decision without somebody from the building department.
Well, I'm from the building
Uh,
department. Basically,
Okay.
to clarify it, then if he said what he was doing is repair, he can grant us permission to do an inspection to verify.
Okay. Will you be willing to do that?
You know, again, no one knocked on the door. I was willing to do it. Here we are today. But let's give you an example of something just to make it clear. That tabletop had cracks in it. It doesn't require a permit to replace it. You take the old one off and put a new one on it. There's the example we're using. And by the way, this was done over a period of 2 years. And part of that fix was also done when we permitted a whole new dock and a whole new boat lift. Part of the fix was done at that time. And also when we permitted the pool repairs and the upgrades to the pool, part of the deck was done there too. They're talking about a very small section. We're happy to have them come out, but this has become more of a pissing contest. Okay, and this is what it's turned into. I've sat here for almost 6 hours now waiting to get to this. And by the way, everything you have is hearsay. So if you use that hearsay rule that you're relying on something somebody told the building official who told Mr. Beswick, who sent the notice, we hit that rule as well.
That's why, well, there are no pictures.
Nope.
There's nobody to explain to me what happened, the sequence of how the work was done. I don't understand. I'm not a construction person, so I don't understand when a permit is necessary and when it's not necessary. I have a dock also, and I maintain it from time to time. I paint it. I put some nails in every once in a while. Maybe a board falls off and I have to put a new board in. I don't know at what point in that process you actually have to get a permit. So it would be helpful to me to understand the facts better, and I'm not quite sure that I understand.
Okay, well, you
what the
can table it
violation is.
and let him explain it to you then.
Who?
Stephen Pizzolo.
I'd like to understand the
Yeah,
process
so you
better.
can table it,
And hopefully somebody can bring pictures of the dock or the deck. Are we talking about a dock or a deck?
He said a deck.
I have them, if I may.
You have pictures? Can you pass them? It's a dock.
It's a dock and a deck. To see the lighter color one next to it, the steps and stuff.
Yes.
That had to be pulled out in order to put the deck down, or excuse me, the dock portion down, then put the deck back. And then when it was using some of the old pressure treated wood, we replaced it with the composite wood.
Did you
see
do
there.
it yourself or do you do it with a contractor?
I did a little bit myself, and the rest I used a couple of hired hands to help me out with.
And this is the comment that you made earlier, that the officer went out and spoke with somebody who said, we're replacing the dock.
That was Steve spoke to the person, not me.
Steve spoke to the
Again,
person.
this, and I don't know if he speaks any Spanish, but these guys barely spoke any.
He speaks Spanish.
Okay, well,
He's married to a Hispanic.
okay, well, the replacement issue. He says it was a replacement, and I'm saying, no, it wasn't. This is a repair.
All right, I really would prefer, since we're gonna get to the nitty-gritty, one way or the other, I really preferred hearing from the person that was there, and he happens to be the building official, and he happens to know the code, and if he says that based on his observation and, you know, what he saw, if he says this requires a building permit, under the code, I have to defer to him.
Okay, well,
And then you have the right to file whatever appellate rights, or you could even challenge his opinion before the Board of Rules and Appeals in the county. If you disagree with a building official, it's a very easy process to fight it at the county.
look, I'm a
So-
licensed contractor. I understand that. I'm
Okay.
licensed in 21 states. I
Okay.
understand all. However, I know that in this case, he didn't see anything. He was out on the street. He never knocked on the door. He talked to a guy who was scared to talk to him. and he went back
Well,
inside.
now he'll see the photographs, and maybe you can let him in and he can do an inspection.
Well, maybe it's the courtesy of knocking on the door, and that's what they should do,
Okay, well,
right?
we're beyond that. Now we're
Yeah.
trying to figure out whether or not you need a permit. And since it is a dock, which in my mind is a little bit different than somebody's deck, because if a dock is not properly built, you could have an accident and somebody could fall into the water. I want to make sure that if a permit is required, that we go through that process.
You're mixing up the two issues. The dock, in which he's part of that dock, and the deck that you saw there was fully permitted
The dock was
and
permitted?
inspected, yes.
The dock was permitted?
Yes, and a new
Okay,
boat
so
lift
we're
too.
talking about the deck only?
Yes.
Okay. I get it.
Okay.
Okay, we'll table it for 30 days.
I'm gonna need 60 days. I'll be out of town in 30 days. I travel extensively.
When is the next special magistrate meeting? Do we have an earlier one than 30 days?
We
Like
only have
next week? Do
I
we
don't
have one
those- I
next
don't have
week?
those dates.
By the
Yeah.
way, Your Honor, I've also asked for this in writing, to spell it out in writing from Mr. Beswick and Company. I've never heard a thing, and I've asked multiple times. Nothing's ever come to us. The city's been very reticent to do anything or respond.
We're not gonna get into that. So I guess the next,
August the 7th is the next hearing.
August the 7th? Are you here August the 7th?
Stand by. Yes, I am.
All right, let's set it for August the 7th. And let's have the building official
Okay.
present.
Okay.
I also requested this push to the top of the agenda, so we're not sitting here another 6 hours.
It's not up to me.
Mhm.
I guess if you check with the clerk, maybe they can work something out. I don't know.
Good day.
The next case is for Roy P. White. Case number CESDM 2019-00005. Karen Jean Lewis is the officer.
Anybody from the property owner? Proceed.
Good afternoon, Co-Compliance Officer Karen Jean Lewis. This property was cited April 22nd, 2019 to apply and obtain a permit to resod the front lawn where the grass was damaged due to excessive parking. The notice to appear was posted for today's hearing on June 26, 2019 at 12:56 p.m. And there's been no notification from the property owner, and the violation remains. There's a black sedan that's being parked on the front lawn, which is why the grass is dying, as you can see in the picture. I don't know if it's up.
I saw that. You have 3 photographs?
Yes.
You need a permit to resod?
Well, that's, as I'm reading it to myself now, I realize that they don't need a permit, but no one ever made contact with me as far as.
Okay, so the violation
violation is
is
concerned.
they need to
To
resod.
resod,
Okay.
to stop parking the car
All
on
right,
the lawn.
based on the unrebutted testimony of the city's code compliance officer, the photographs and evidence presented depicting that the cited violations still exist, proper notice has been given, I find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication and set a compliance date of 30 days. In the event of non-compliance, there shall be a daily fine of $250 until the violation is abated.
The next case is Shawnee Management Incorporated. The case number is FYBRR 2018-00084. Gary Beswick is the officer.
All right, we have 3 cases.
No, we're down to one case, which is the FYBRR case.
Okay, the third one. 40-year recertification. Is that right? The other 2 have been resolved?
Correct.
Okay. Who's here on behalf of the owner?
Yeah, I'm the owner.
What's your name?
Ziv Rappaport.
Okay. All right, let me hear from the city first.
Good afternoon, Gary Bezick from the city of North Miami. The property is due for 40-year recertification in 2018, and as of today, we haven't received a report. So that we need a report.
Mr. Rappaport, when can you have a report filed with the city?
Okay, so I need to, actually, Mr. Brunswick open a violation on electric. So I got the permit in my hand. As soon as I finalize with the electric permit, I'm gonna do the report. No.
What's the issue with the electric?
We got like we replaced the box for the electrical, and we need to get a permit on that. And it's on processing. I got the permit in my hand. I don't know how long it's going to take to finalize it. And after that, I need to do the 4 years inspection. I need like 60 days to be.
What is the issue with the electric, though, and what kind of property are we talking about?
Okay, the commercial is a business property.
Okay.
And we replaced the box, the electrical box. So we need to finalize the electrical permit. I don't know if you're gonna check another stuff on the I don't know who's gonna come, which inspector. But I got the permit. I got it. I applied 1 month ago, and we got it like 2 days ago.
All right, let me understand where we are. So you hired an architect or an engineer to do the 40-year
Yeah,
recertification.
the 4 years inspection
Right.
is got electrical and
All
structure.
right, so you hired somebody.
Yes.
And this person did a report and found that there was some issue
No.
with... No?
Okay, I got certified of use, and Mr. Brunswick came to my lot and did like inspection, and he failed me on the electrical box.
Okay.
And since then, like 3 months, he's going in.
And that's why you haven't been able to file your 40-year recertification?
Exactly.
Okay, so how much time do you need?
60 days.
Is
to
that
do.
okay with the city?
Yeah.
Or you need...
That's fine.
That's fine? Okay, and this has not been previously...
Yeah, we need adjudication.
It has been
No,
adjudicated?
no, we need
You
adjudication.
need an adjudication, okay. So, based on the unrebutted testimony of the city's code compliance officer, and the owner concurring to a 60-day extension, I find that the city should prevail in this matter, enter an adjudication, set a compliance date of 60 days. In the event of non-compliance, there will be a daily fine of $250 until the violations are abated.
Thank
So
you,
you
Alderman.
got 60 days. You're welcome. Have a good night.
The next 3 cases are for Sharon Addison. Karen Jean Lewis is the officer. The first case we're going to call is CEFAW 2019-00064.
Sharon Addison, not present. City may proceed. This is about an iron fence.
Correct.
Good afternoon, Code Compliance Officer Karen Jean Lewis. This property was originally cited March 9th for the iron fence that is chipped and needed to be painted. And the notice to appear for this hearing was posted to the property on June 24th at 2:27 p.m.
Are there any pictures?
Yes, just one moment. I spoke with the property owner. She had requested for more time because this case was actually postponed to give her some time to come into compliance, but there's been no compliance and no contact since then.
I just want to see what the fence looks like. Okay. Okay. As to 00064. I am going to find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication, set a compliance date of 30 days. In the event of non-compliance, there will be a daily fine of $250 until the violation is abated.
The next case for the same property is CEPFY 2019-00102. Karen Jean Lewis is the officer.
Code Compliance Officer Karen Jean Lewis, this property was cited March 9th in reference to vehicles being parked on the front lawn. It was observed a silver Mustang, a black sedan, and a gold Toyota. Notice to appear was posted on the property June 24th, 2019 at 2:27 p.m. And as of the final reinspection date, they're still parking on the lawn.
Based on the unrebutted testimony of the city's code compliance officer, the photographs and evidence presented depicting that the cited violations still exist, proper notice has been given. I find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication, set a compliance date of 30 days. In the event of non-compliance, it'll be a daily fine of $250 until the violation is abated.
Sharon Addison, case number CESDM 2019-00004. Karen Jean Lewis.
Code Compliance Officer Karen Jean Lewis, the property was cited March 9th to resaw the front portion of the lawn where the vehicles are continuously being parked. The notice to appear was posted on June 24th, 2019 at 2:27 p.m. and the front lawn still has not been resodded.
As to this particular violation, 00004, sodding, based on the testimony of the city's code compliance officer, the photographs and evidence presented depicting that the cited violations still exist, proper notice having been given, I find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication and set a compliance date of 30 days. In the event of non-compliance, there shall be a daily fine of $250 until the violation is abated.
The next case is for Shine Investments, RCCOR 2018-00023. Gary Beswick is the officer.
Anybody here on behalf of the owner? If not, let's proceed.
Let the table this for 60 days.
I'm sorry?
Table for 60 days.
Table it for 60 days?
Yes, thank
So
you.
ordered.
The next case is SRP Sub LLC, case number CEEXP 2019-00114. Edme St. Louis is the officer.
Nobody here? This is Shine Investments? What's the name of the case?
It's SRP Sub.
Got it. Found it.
So we're gonna skip that item and go to Susan Backham. There's two cases.
Yes.
The first case we're gonna call CELSC 2019-00005. Shanna Sanders is the officer.
Anybody on behalf of the owner? Susan Backham. All right, Ms. Sanders, ready to proceed?
Shanna Sanders, City of North Miami Code Compliance Officer. Per email I received from Code Coordinator Pilar Diaz, that we're going to postpone this for 1 month.
This is the, this is 00005, overgrown trees.
Yes, this is for CELSC 2019-00005, as well as CEODS 2019-00083.
We're
Both
postponing both cases.
postponed for 1 month.
Okay. So ordered.
The next case is TNC LLC, case number SDNOV 2019-00064. Ernest Baptiste is the officer.
Anybody here on behalf of the owner?
I the controller for the company, TNC. My name is Alex Jimenez. And the code officer is Ernest Baptiste. I thought that was their lady. She had to.
Shanna Sanders, City of North Miami Code Compliance Officer, here in this case for Code Officer Aaron Baptiste in the absence of now retired Officer Ernst Baptiste. This is a case, a new case. I'm sorry, a case for reports of previous compliance for a garbage enclosure that a dumpster that needs to be enclosed. It was originally cited, I'm showing here, February 2019. It was adjudicated on June 6, 2019. It was gave a guilty finding. They gave until July 10th to abate as of last Wednesday. Dumpster still remains in need of enclosing and no permits have been obtained. I would like to, if possible, go ahead and assess a fine. Because again, as of last week, compliance still hasn't been met.
Ms. Jimenez?
Yes. It's been very hard getting a contractor and somebody to give an inspection. Now I signed up a contract with Emburgia Construction Services, and unfortunately I haven't been able to file the permit because the owners of the company have been away because of the holidays. They've been away for the past a month. So I have
Of which company?
a TNC. TNC.
Okay. I thought that you were the manager of the company.
I'm the manager, but the owner is the one that has to sign the permits. To
Okay. I looked up your corporation, and you're listed as a managing partner.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I think you have authority to sign on behalf of the corporation.
I didn't know that.
Well, look it up.
Okay. Well,
Well,
first thing
This has been pending, and you were found guilty on June of this year, and asked to abate by July. We're talking about a dumpster. We're not talking about a major construction. So I don't understand why it's so difficult to fix a dumpster.
Okay, well, the enclosure is actually very difficult for them to come and get a contractor or somebody involved to give me an estimate. And then I've had a couple of people that basically they're waiting on estimates, and I've had to call other people to come and finalize it. They come inspect, and then they'll send you the report, and no one has. Fortunately, I had not been able to do it until I got a contract with the contractor and whoever is going to do the work. Now I need to do the permit, which we have been waiting because their owners were there. I was not aware that I could sign for a permit. All I'm asking is a month.
Okay.
I already have
Do you
a
have a
contract.
picture of the dumpster that?
Yes, let me see what
Yeah.
she has here.
Yeah.
You may very well be a controller, but according to the Secretary of State's records, you are a managing partner of the corporation. I looked it up.
My apologies, I'm looking at the file here. As I stated, I'm hearing this case for now retired Code Officer Edmund Fitzgerald. I don't have a photo of the,
I have it.
You have a
with the
photo?
thing.
May I see it, please? So the issue is just basically covering the dumpster, taking away that blue tarp, and putting a lid on it? Is that the issue?
If you can pass me back down the picture, our code section states all dumpsters need to be enclosed.
So just having it outside by itself is a violation?
That's correct. The blue, this blue covering actually is the cover of the actual dumpster.
So
It
there's
needs to be
nothing wrong with the
enclosed.
cover? The
There's-
cover is fine?
No, looking at this photo here, there's nothing wrong with this cover. It just needs to be enclosed. It needs to be properly enclosed with a fence, not open and exposed like in this nature.
Okay, so if they put up a fence with some covering around the fence so that people can't see the dumpster, does that comply?
That complies. That's what code requires it. It needs to be, fenced in with, wood fence, or if they use chain link, it needs to have the privacy slat so they can't see it. But yes, it needs to be enclosed, whereas people cannot visibly see the dumpster.
Okay, I think I heard you say 30 days within which to
Yeah,
get it.
because I already had this contractor had to make with the city and make sure that he had to follow the requirements. He had to do a drawing. So he's already putting work into this. I already have the permit already filled out. I already have the people that are going to do it. So it's just a matter of submitting the permit and go ahead and doing it.
All right, I'm gonna table this for 30 days, but come 30 days, if this is not fixed, we're going to assess a fine.
Okay,
Okay?
thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
The next two cases are for Terrell Matthews. The first case we're calling is CESOD 2019-00016. Jose Perez is the officer.
Sir, please state your full name and address.
Terrell Matthews,
What is your relationship to the property?
owner.
City, please proceed.
City of North Miami Code Enforcement Officer Perez. Today we're hearing the case in reference to the property at 12065 Northwest 2nd Avenue. The first case is in reference to sodding. The grass needs to be sodded in the front lawn and the swell area that has been damaged due to excessive parking. As of my final reinspection date on July 10th, whenever this picture loads. TikTok. All right. Sorry about that. As of July 10th, 2019, at approximately 9:54 a.m., as you can see by the photographs, the front lawn still has not been sodded, and you could see it's lacking there. This was previously adjudicated.
Abatement date, July 10th.
Correct.
Sir, what's your defense?
No, I-
Seems like you were asked to do something by July 10th regarding the swale area, the grass in the front lawn, and it's still not in compliance.
I recently sodded that area. I didn't realize it was due July the 10th. I had the same problem as one of your previous guys that was here. I thought I had until the 17th. But I've resodded it, and I'm still in the process of still putting down sod. But I got a picture to indicate that the area has been resodded.
Show it to the code officer, please.
Based on the photographs, compliance has been met. However, due to the fact that it was not complied on the abatement date, the city will request court cost.
Okay, to be consistent with a prior decision on similar facts, I'm going to, can I assess costs without assessing a fine?
Which would be the court cost.
Okay, so I don't have to assess a fine.
I'm not sure.
Okay. I'll tell you what, I'm going to assess a $1 fine and assess costs in favor of the city.
Okay.
Because there was no compliance between July 10th and July 17th. So it's kind of a unique way of trying to balance the equities here.
Yes, sir.
So you understand my ruling?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay, and so.
Appreciate it.
Okay, So we're gonna move on to the second violation.
That case number CEWWC 2019-00039. Jose Perez is the officer.
City of North Miami Code Enforcement Officer Perez. Today we're hearing the case in reference to the property at 12065 Northwest 2nd Avenue in reference to the roof under the carport that needed to be repaired. As of my final reinspection on July 10th, compliance had not been met.
All right, so what about the roof on the carport?
I repaired that also.
Oh, good.
All I need to do is paint it.
It's a good day then. Excellent. Should I dismiss it or do the same as we did with the prior one?
I'll leave that discretion to you.
All right, I'm gonna dismiss, being that you've acted in total good faith and
Thank you.
fixed everything, and it's only a matter of a few days, and maybe there was a misunderstanding. I'm going to dismiss it altogether and assess no cost or fine on this violation.
Okay, I appreciate it.
The next
Okay.
two cases are for War Homes LLC. Karen Jean Lewis is the officer. The first case is CEZCU 2018-00006.
Anybody representing Ware Homes, is that the correct spelling?
Yes, Ware Homes.
Okay, and tell us who you are and your relationship to the property.
I am Carmen Nevares. I am manager with Ware Homes LLC. It's the property located in 13990 Northwest 6th Court.
Spell your last name?
Nevares,
Okay.
Nevares.
I was curious, so I looked up the corporate name and it came back Morhayen.
Yes.
Are they the owners?
Yes, he's the property owner, yes.
Okay.
I work for them, yes.
So, and you're here on behalf of,
On behalf of them, yes.
and your relationship is you're the manager?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so the first issue is a certificate of use. And you were previously found guilty on abatement date of April the 10th. And so I'm gonna let the city first present what they've found.
Good afternoon, Co-Compliance Officer Karen Jean Lewis. This property was originally cited October the 6th, 2018, in reference to the business not having a certificate of use. I've been in constant communication with the property manager as to the business trying to obtain the CU. But part of the problem is the other violation, which is for the zone prohibited use, is what's preventing them from getting the certificate of use approved. They sell like stone slabs, granite, and marble, and they're storing them outside. So until they get the permit to install a door so that they can slide the slabs into the building, they can't get the certificate of use.
All right, so I guess, it's the chicken and the egg. Let's talk about the second violation then, because that's what's triggering the absence of a certificate of use. So let's talk about that one.
Okay. Case number CEZPU 2018-00053.
Okay, and this one was cited also on the same date of October the 6th, 2018, to cease and desist storing the stone slabs, marble, and tile outside. I'll let the property manager explain to you where she is in the process as far as getting the permits so that they can do the work.
Yes,
Okay, I'm looking at the pictures. They're not pretty pictures. It looks like there's a real messy situation outside. I don't know whether that's marble or what material it
They're
is. but-
slabs, yes.
Okay, so
Stone.
what are you doing to fix that?
The tenant requested that we would, exchange the door, the actual door that exists there, the rolling door for the warehouse, because it was too low and they couldn't roll them inside the warehouse. So we worked with the city, with the CRA. We requested a grant. and we were approved for that grant. So we were in that process of getting approved and getting the last, certification from the city that everything was in order. We secured a contractor. The contractor had to get some technical drawings from an engineer because there's got to be a new beam installed and there's some demolition involved. We're also going to fix the parking lot and restripe it. So right now, the contractor, him and me, we're supposed to go to the city and file for the permit, and that would be it, so that he can commence the construction process.
Is this all dependent on getting the funding from the CRA?
No, we already are approved. We
You're
are approved,
so you are
yes.
getting some funding. And
Yes,
you're
we are.
You're using that funding. And frankly, I'm surprised that they even gave you the funding without a certificate of use and being in violation of the code. But nevertheless, you're getting the funding, and I assume you're gonna be out of pocket also.
Well, we have to, yes, first we have to pay, and then we submit for the reimbursement.
Okay. So where are you in terms of correcting the issues with the?
Well, we, like I said, we already have a contractor. He already requested from the architect and the engineer the drawings. He told me that the drawings are ready, so we just have to submit them to the city for the permit and just get the permit approved and start the construction.
How long is the construction gonna take?
I always estimate less time, and things take longer than you think. I would say 90 days to be able to secure that permit and demolish and install the new door and work with the parking lot.
What's bothering me is what I'm seeing in these pictures. It just very unsightly to drive by there and see all that
I
stuff
agree.
outside. So is there any way that you can put that aside, put them somewhere so that they're not so visible?
The tenant, we already talked to him. His commitment was that once we start the construction, he's gonna move everything out. He secured an alternate location for the stone, so he will move it. He just needs us to get that permit because of course that's gonna be uncomfortable for his operations.
Okay.
So once we get that permit, he will move the stone.
And the other thing that really troubles me is that here we are in July, and you were found guilty by the magistrate in January, and you were supposed to abate by April 10th, and we're in
Because
July.
the grant still hadn't been approved, so we got the final confirmation of the grant on April 25th.
How much is the grant?
It's 25,000.
25,000?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, city, what is your preference?
The previous magistrate, which was Magistrate Kazoo, she was willing to give him more time to get the permit and get it approved. And since the property manager has been working diligently to get all the paperwork in, they got the grant. It's just a matter of submitting the application for the permit so that they get the work started. So I have no objection to give her more time, but it's up to you.
All right. I know that going through a funding process with a CRA can be a pain in the you-know-what. And then dealing with the building department takes a while, and dealing with contractors and architects. And are you the owner or the tenant?
No, I'm representing the owner.
The owner.
Yes.
So it's the owner that's gonna do the work, not the tenant.
Exactly.
Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to give you 90 days to get this thing done and bring it back to either me or whichever special magistrate had it first. And let's see where we are at that point. But definitely, this is very unsightly.
It
It's
is.
also unsafe. It could be a potential life safety issue, especially if there's a hurricane, and we can get a hurricane anytime. So you need to at least move that marble out of the way and store it in a very, in a safe area.
I totally agree.
Indoors, probably, because, somebody gets hurt there and you're gonna get sued.
Yes.
So, I'm willing to give you 90 days.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Is it 90 days on both cases?
Well, the one is dependent on the other. You can't get a certificate of use unless they do the work first.
Okay, so I have
Correct.
to put that into record. So for case CEZCU 00006 has been tabled for 90 days. So the next
Both have, 006 and 053.
5-3 I have on record, I just had to put it on record for 6.
Yes, for 6 also. Because
The
they
next-
can't get the certificate unless they do the work
Correct.
required by 053.
The next case on the agenda is Woodson La Rochelle, case number CEEXP 2019-00043. Wayne Clark is the officer.
Anybody here on behalf of the owner? Not seeing anybody?
Yeah, excuse me. I guess he could be dismissed, I guess, because there's nobody else here and he's waiting.
Yes, the interpreters? Goodbye. Thank you very much.
All right, yeah, all right.
Thanks
I
for
won't be still
staying.
as long as you need to. Wayne Clark, City of North Miami Code Compliance.
Officer, if you want to go, I know you got better things to do. Keep us safe.
No.
Go. We don't need you. Thank you for your work. Stay safe.
I was asked by the Community Planning and Development Housing Manager to have this case postponed as she's trying to assist him.
Okay, so
Thank you.
ordered. Anybody else?
And this concludes all the items to the agenda.
Great. Excellent.